Hi, it's raining, but I've got two cars and three people. Well, that's me and two other people holding umbrellas, cameras and things. This is the problem when I have two cars on the set. I need many more people to help me deal with this. But okay, what do we have here? We have an e-Golf, electric Golf, and we have an i3. Electric, but with range extender. This is how I got to the place where I am right now. It's about 350 kilometers from Warsaw. This car in Eco Plus, Professional, whatever mode, has a range of about 300 kilometers. That's combined electric plus the generator, which is in the boot. And this car has an pure electric range of up to around 200 kilometers. So it came here on a lorry rather than being driven from wherever Volkswagen is located in Poland. We start off with the i3. It's a car I already told you about in another review. Look at it. It's just something that it looks like it's out of this world. And with this paint, the black and white paint, it looks like a stormtrooper helmet. If you want something that will distinguish you from the crowd, this is the car to go for. By the way, this one has a fuel filler cap here, and it's got an electric charging thing down there in the back. You can charge it from a 230 volt socket, you can charge it from a DC socket with a wall box, so that reduces the charging time, or you can charge it from a fast charger if there is any in your area, about half an hour to 80% capacity. Interesting thing about this car is the concept of how this thing opens, and well, look at that. This, by the way, is carbon fiber, so it's got a carbon fiber monocoque. It's a four-seater. Well, it's relatively easy to get in there, but you have to remember which doors to close first. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It's got a bit of a boot. By a bit, I mean a bit. That's my suitcase, that's my drone, that's my tripod, and that's pretty much it. The rest of my stuff travels in the back there, or for now in the Volkswagen Golf boot. Let's go to the Golf. The Golf is much more practical because it actually has the same boot capacity, the same interior like your regular Golf. It's built on the MQB platform, the modular platform, and that means that all the drivetrain and batteries take up space of the regular engine, exhaust and fuel tank. So this car, except for these little blue touches here and there, except for these little touches, it looks pretty much the same. Maybe from the front, if we can see that. Okay, so there's another e-Golf badge here. There are some blue accents here on the headlights, and it's got these kind of C LEDs here. That's something that stands out in all e-Volkswagens, because there is also an e-up, and there is also a Golf GTE, which is a plug-in hybrid. Let's look inside, and the inside, it looks pretty much the same like in any other Golf. It's a pretty familiar interior, and you should be fine driving it. It's not any different from driving any other car. Okay, so here I am in the Volkswagen e-Golf. First of all, sorry for quality of the video today, but as you can see, the weather is hardly ideal, so it is what it is. I have to deal with the adverse weather conditions. But anyway, let's not talk about the weather, let's talk about the e-Golf. And the e-Golf is absolutely normal to drive. If you didn't tell me this is an electric Golf, I probably wouldn't notice, because the 1.4 TSI engines these days and 1.2 TSI engines are very quiet, at least at low revs. So maybe as I accelerate, I can feel the difference, because I can't hear the engine. At this speed I would normally hear the engine, and the acceleration, the torque is instant. This is in normal mode, because this car has a couple of more modes. This car has an eco mode, which takes away some of the fun. You have to press the accelerator deeper, harder, to get this acceleration going, and then you have the Eco Plus mode, in which you don't have any acceleration whatsoever, and you don't really have any aircon, so it's not very comfortable. But when the weather is right and you don't need heating or cooling, that should be fine. Now, the range of this car, Volkswagen promises the range up to about 200 kilometers, similar to Nissan Leaf. In real life, if you don't drive an Eco Plus, but in normal or Eco, you'll probably get about 120, 150 kilometers, which is all right for the city, especially when there are quick chargers available. If there are no quick chargers, then you may want to squeeze a bit more juice out of it, especially if you have to drive a bit further. The steering, well, the steering is okay, it's direct, but it's very light, so you don't get this kind of sporty feel in it, but I know what the car is doing. Today it's raining and it's slippery, and I suppose this car is on some sort of low resistance eco tires, so the nose does plow a bit, but this might have to do rather with extra weight. It might have to do something with the fact that the roads are very slippery and wet today. There are a couple of recuperation modes as well. I can drive it normally in D, and then I can put the gear shift 1 like this. That's recuperation 1, recuperation 2, and recuperation 3. In recuperation 3, you basically don't have to use brakes, kind of like in the BMW i3, which is following me right now, and we will get to that car in a moment. In the i3 you can't switch the recuperation modes, you can't change them, it's recuperating all the time every time you lift off, and in here you can coast or set one of the 3 recuperation modes. Okay, so now we're in the BMW i3. This is the range extender version, and you will hear the range extender in a moment. Okay, so now we can't hear it, but it will come on in a second because I'm rather low on battery and rather low on fuel. Speaking of being low on just about everything. Okay, so the range extender version allows me to drive the usual 120, 150 kilometers, depending on whether I'm in the normal Eco or Eco Pro Plus mode. And then the petrol generator kicks in. It's actually a scooter engine. It's a C600 scooter engine, which is under the boot floor, and that generates energy from petrol. There is a, I think, 8-9 liter tank here, and that's good for, depending on the driving style and driving conditions, for about 120 to maybe even 200 kilometers. It really depends on the speed. If you're on a motorway doing 110, 120 kilometers per hour, you'll get maybe 120 kilometers out of it. If you're on a B road like this, you're likely to get about 200. This is a BMW and it drives like a BMW. First of all, the speed. Let me switch it into comfort mode for a minute. This does 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7 seconds and a bit. There is a substantial energy recuperation here, so you don't really use brakes, you just sort of let go of the accelerator and you modulate braking like that. If I let go completely, the car almost brakes. Basically, the moment that you would normally brake, you just let go of the accelerator, which is weird. You have to get used to it, but once you get used to it, there you go. The Golf is pretty good, but this is much better. And despite this being rather a tall car, it doesn't roll because the center of gravity is very low. It's all the batteries are here under the floor. Now, there is a problem with that because whenever I get in, I kick the door sill, but again, something you can get used to. The cabin is much more space age, out of this world. Okay, so this is recycled something, but I like it. It's got this eco credential thing to it, and it's something different. You may have seen my BMW i8 review. If you haven't, please do. So I complained about the i8 interior being too modest, let's say. Here in the i3, BMW went all the way, and I really enjoy it. So, 2 flavors of electric cars. Both flavors are German, but this one tastes more like sausage and this one tastes like, I don't know what it tastes like, but it's great to drive. It looks weird. It's, I don't know, German fusion, I would call that. But I do understand some people don't want to show off their eco-credentials and they might want to choose a Golf, especially that this is a more practical car when you have infrastructure, because infrastructure is what makes these cars come alive. You can drive them further than just around the place you live. So let me know in the comments below whether you would like the i3 or the e-Golf. They're priced similarly, but both are quite expensive. Of course, don't forget to subscribe and to rate and share my videos. New episodes every Friday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.